to get into someone, our first guest, because he's got things happening in his life, and we want to get him on his way. But I have a good friend of mine named Aaron. He's a rapper. Aaron, what up? Can you hear us?
There we go.
What up? Hey, dude,
Hello,
what's
how's it
up?
going?
What what's going on? What's going on?
Sorry, dude. Technical difficulties here in the YouTube world on April Fools. I don't know what's happening, man. Crazy. Hey, man, thanks for being. We just showed, man, you're an incredible rapper, by the way. I mean,
Awesome. Thank you so
I
much.
don't know who. I'm not like a rap connoisseur. Who should I to judge? But man, like you either know if someone's good or bad, and dude, you as the
Yeah,
kids say, you got the slaps. I don't know
I
what
don't
that.
think
I
that's
don't know
how
what
it's
that
used.
Oh,
means. I don't know what
It
that
just
means.
slaps.
It slaps. It slaps, Aaron. Dude, hey, real quick, man. Tell us. Well, first of all, we're gonna put your YouTube up so people can go get on it, listen to some jams. But you
yeah.
got lots and lots of followers. I know that's not what it's about, but man, you're kind of a
Mhm.
big deal. A little bit,
Hey,
a little bit.
just man, just doing what we could do, man, to give God some glory, man, in everything we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So a lot of people are wanting to know. Like, here's a question they're asking. Like, hey, I like to spit a little rhyme. How did you
Hmm.
get started in this whole rap game?
Okay, man, to put everything in a nutshell, as far as it's funny because before I met the Lord, I was 16 years old when I met Jesus,
Okay.
and the first time I heard somebody do music, it was actually the very first time I was invited to church. It was a youth night, and there were these guys right outside the front doors of the church, and they were freestyling. They were just rapping off the top of their head. And I've seen it before, but these guys were good, but they were talking about Jesus. They were talking about the Bible, and it blew my mind because I never saw it being used like that. I didn't want to do it at the time, but uh, it it engages you, and because it did that, God used something that eventually I was going to do just to grab my attention. And that's the reason why, when it comes to young people in music,
Hmm.
I'm extremely passionate because it took a 16-year-old. It wasn't a pastor, it wasn't a special speaker, or even a rapper. It was another 16-year-old that grabbed my attention as a 16-year-old,
That's good.
uh, and it engaged me and gave me a reason to really have questions about who God really was.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. The power of music and the power of
Mhm.
your influence of your peers, man. That's good.
That's it. That's right.
That's
That's
good,
right.
man.
So what when the questions arise is like, hey, what do I do? Um, Honestly, use your gift where you're at.
Hmm.
If you have a talent or you have a desire to write and to rap, to sing, whatever it is, use that in the place where you're at. If you're in church, use that there. You allow the people around you to sharpen you, and don't hunger for the stage too early.
Right. And I've heard this before. You got to have something to say, right? Like I think a
Exactly.
lot of people want a
Exactly.
platform, but they ain't got nothing to say, right? And I
Yep.
think that's huge, man.
Yep.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Well, man, like, tell us like one of those moments. I know you do a lot of touring, you do a lot of
Mhm.
concerts. Like, what is one of those moments in life where you're like, oh man, I'm doing this right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting to do this. God has used me. Like, walk me through a moment.
So it was actually I would say it was actually about 2 years ago. I've been doing full time ministry for about a little almost 4.5 years. And it was about 2 years ago when things began to pick up quite a bit. I was the income was being supplemented by people that wanted me, of all people, to share, not just with youth groups but churches, events. And so I remember going to a particular event, and I began to hear uh, people quoting songs that I had wrote, and I heard it a few times before. But when when you hear not just kids and then youth, then you begin to hear adults start quoting what you have to say. It was like a good slash scary moment, because it reminded me. It was like, man, me of all people, like growing up, I had I just didn't have a good self esteem, and so little by little, God began to take that away through the years. But I began to do that, and all of a sudden, I started seeing God saying, um, that scripture, God will use the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And I'm sitting here like, okay, God, I can't believe you're letting me, of all people, travel. When I didn't think I was much, people are calling me to travel and go speak and share with music. But it also challenged me, because he also reminded me there was kids, there was youth, college age adults that were quoting the stuff that I was saying, because it's no longer about whether it sounds good.
Mm,
Because if people are quoting it, they need to make sure that what's coming out of their mouth is giving them life.
mm,
And so it was a wow moment. It was like, man, I can't believe you're using me in this. But it was also a heart check moment.
yeah.
What am I doing it for? And is it going to be beneficial for the body?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Hey, answer. I'm a student pastor, as you know, and a lot of my kids are like, I can't find any good clean music. All the Christian music's cheesy. Like, give me some options. Like, what is something they can listen to that's wholesome, that's good. I mean, obviously you. Hopefully they're discovering you today.
Yeah.
They need to go check out. But what are some other people, some other players in the game?
Okay, so trust me, I had the same when I first came out. Yet my excuse was literal, but I think right now, like we are so there's so much out there that if you're not in the right, I guess, the right place at the right time, you'll never know it. So number one, I definitely got to give a. I always like to support my brothers. Like there's a guy named Brian Trejo. He started kind of the kingdom music movement. He's out of Abilene, Texas. He's phenomenal, and he has like 400 albums. I don't know. He's always coming up with new stuff. Brian Trejo, the Kingdom Music movement. Kingdom Music is just, you spell it exactly the way it is, except with the Z instead of a S. Um, then I got brothers like Five, the number five, IVE. Uh, then I mean, there's so many. Plain James, Young Noah, my sister V Rose, so many amazing people that are out there. Um, and what we could do is, I have no problem helping you guys after the video. I can share their links and
Yeah,
get you guys more familiar, because um, it's and I know that everybody's like, yeah, a lot of the Christian, especially hip hop, it's either really cheesy, or again, we got to be careful, because it's like you said it a second ago. There's a lot of talented people, but it's not about talent; it's your character. What kind of substance are they giving us, right?
yeah,
So there's a lot of people that are really in love with Jesus, that are really in love with spreading the gospel, but have incredible talent.
yeah.
So like I said, Kingdom Music, Brian Trejo, Antoine Hill, Monica Hill, Five playing, James Young Noah, V Rose, Arise, Z. There's just an insane amount, and I'd love to be able to share that with you guys.
Sweet.
Maybe like with links and just to get you guys expanded.
Yeah, yeah. We'll connect on that. We'll put our links out there so people can go and grab some new music, man. I love that. I love that. Um, hey, I know you got a jet, but you're from Amarillo, or you currently live in
Yeah,
Amarillo.
yeah.
Not exactly the rap capital. Uh, people like, oh, A Town. That's where it's happening. But I love I love the story though, because it doesn't matter where you're from, right? A lot of people think, man, in order for me to be used, I got to get to some big city. I love it, right? You're from Amarillo, and God is just blowing up and doing some cool things.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is I'm originally born and raised out of Houston. Uh, I lived there up until I was about 19. Um, and then I went to Bible school for 2 years. I actually went back trying to do something because I knew God was using me in that, and nothing ever happened. So I met my wife in Bible school. She's from Amarillo, so
Okay.
obviously I'm in Amarillo. 2 years into our marriage, I was like, man, we should go back to Houston. I know things will pop off there because nothing's happening in Amarillo. And so I go to Houston, nothing happens. Like I'm interacting with people, getting to meet people, but God is putting a cap. And I think the reason why He was kind of putting the cap on me is exactly what you were saying. Sometimes we have these ideas of, man, I can make it if I just go here. And God is saying, I created a king from a shepherd in the field.
Mm.
David knew nothing about the kingdom, yet he was faithful with God with where he was at. And God was trying to tell me, I just need you to be faithful where you're at. That's why I'm saying, like, to all of your youth that are watching, young adults, please listen. Um, Stop waiting for that amazing moment that is going to happen and begin to be obedient and serve and use your talent where you're at, because I guarantee you, God doesn't need you in Nashville, Houston, Atlanta, or anywhere across the world. He just needs you obedient where you're at. Something that
Ooh.
that the guy spoke to me a while back was this. We want to encourage our youth and our young people, young adults, and adults. We want to say, "Well, God, I just take me to Africa, or take me to China, and use me across the world." And half the time, God is saying, "I just need you to not cuss, or I just need you to just listen." And we want to be used everywhere except where we're at. Understand, allow God to use you where you're at. China, in India, in Africa, they'll come if you can be obedient where you're at.
Mm. Come on, man. Spitting fire. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word. That is, I mean, that's awesome, man. Hey, since you're from Amarillo, a lot of our middle school kids they know about Wonderland. Tell us about your favorite
Yeah.
Wonderland ride.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Wonderland is awesome. Keep coming. Uh, I've never been. I've been out there maybe like 3 times. I lived here for a long time. I've only been out there 3 times. Hey, the one thing, and we talked about this earlier, Chris. The one thing that you gotta love about Wonderland is no line. There
Absolutely,
ain't no lines. You could hop on one and jump on another instantly.
yeah. And there's a reason there's no lines, but that's another story. But yeah, but my favorite area
Absolutely.
is the Himalaya. You know, you get in there and they're playing
Oh
that
yeah.
'80s, Def Leppard, like, you want to go faster? Let me hear you scream, and they're just playing like, Metallica, Rat, just all these songs. Oh, that's crazy, dude, crazy.
Bro, it's super crazy. Super crazy.
Well, dude, hey, I know you got a jet because if you we went to Israel together. Me and Aaron went to Israel
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and so we are like we like met for a week in Israel, and now I mean we
Yeah.
like I said we can connect like this and just like we're back
Yeah.
into action, man. So I know you got a jet to get on that Israel call. I'm gonna try to join you,
Yeah.
but man, thank you for being here. Let's get those.
Absolutely.
We'll text maybe get those links out to these kids so they
Yes,
know some good
absolutely.
music, man. And I appreciate your words today. And one last thing, dude. What the Texans? What's up with the Texans? I mean, if you're from Houston, I get that, but I mean, are you okay with
Let's
the
just
trade you guys just made?
we need a intercessory prayer for my man Bill O'Reilly. I mean, Bill Bryant, he needs some hands laid. There
Oh
needs to be something happening.
man,
Um,
that's a tough trade.
I I don't know, man. All I know is I'm trying to occupy myself. Uh, as far as that's concerned, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but we pray for the nation. We pray for the Texans. So
Amen. Amen, dude. Well, hey, we're gonna bounce, man. It's good to see you. Thanks for doing this,
Man.
and we'll be in touch, man.
I love you guys. Thank y'all
All
so
right, man.
much.
Thanks, Aaron. Love you, man. See ya.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. And Aaron on the show. So good. Yeah, yeah.